Yeah, I've done a bit of bird over the years, in and out of different prisons. And listen, let me tell you something, right? It's easy to get in prison, yeah. But the hardest part about prison is getting out in one piece, getting out alive. Because, you can easily get killed in prison. I've seen quite a few deaths in prison, yeah. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about some of the things I've seen, yeah. I've seen people get really stabbed up, really badly stabbed up, and just about survive, best about survival, and it's about nothing really. It's always about something silly. It's usually sometimes it's about food. Someone takes something out of your cell and and they pay it back or whatever, and you get killed for a bit of food or for tobacco, something stupid. Yeah, it's all about something stupid. But them things in prison mean quite a lot. Food is one of the most important parts of prison. Yeah. So when I sort of like when I was at the Scrubs, yeah, and I'd done them two Sri Lankan guys, they could have died. They could have died for the damage I'd done to them, yeah. I mean, when you think about the damage, I smashed them to pieces. I literally smashed them to pieces. I was quite aware that I could kill them when I was smashing their head against the vinyls and that sort of thing. But but to crush all their private parts and all that. I mean, so blood was that just crushed everything about them for what they'd done to that kid. But I could have killed them easy. And then to go somewhere like, like to walk into Albany. When I was in Albany prison. Albany prison was one of the hardest prisons around in my times. In the early when I went there, about 74. It was one of the hardest prisons going. It was well known to get stabbed up. Yeah. So me going over to Albany, going into Avery, I was a big lump, you know what I mean? I wasn't fighting, I was fighting boxer, so I wasn't fighting having a fight. But when I started to move around, get about, and I realised that Albany is a bad place. You get stabbed up easy there, yeah. So I've seen not even so much stabbed up, yeah. I remember going to the C Wing in Albany, yeah. It was called the marriage quarters for reasons that's the word, marriage quarters, yeah. So when I went there, there was like loads and loads of gay people there. It was all like people like, together as like together, husband and wife sort of thing. I'm not joking, I mean? There's murder in there, yeah. And when I first went in there, and I was on the one spur, the long spur, yeah. And I remember one night it was madness, mate. It was like everyone was screaming, shouting, the doors were going, all the doors were being smashed to pieces. People were trying to get out of their cells. When the click goes for you to come out of your cell, no one could get out of the cell. And it was this murder. It was absolutely crazy. People were shouting, screaming, and there was all screws running around. And you think, what's going on here? Right? And there was a guy up on the top landing, on the right spur, and he was being moved. Yeah, he was being moved, or she was being moved, or whatever they call them fucking people. Yeah, he was being moved, but he didn't want to be moved because he was like. He was more of a woman than anything, you know what I mean? And he made himself to an extent that he's in love with someone, you know what I mean? He's in love with someone and he doesn't want to leave. And don't forget, he's done, 8, 9 years. Now he's being transferred to a DCAT, I think it was, a DCAT. And he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay there, but once they've made their minds up, you've got to go, you've got to get out of the nick, because there's someone going to take your cell, and that's as easy as that. So they don't want you in the prison. You've got to go. But he don't want to go. So what he done, and in them early times, mattresses in your cell were not fireproof. They still had the wrap round them, but they wasn't fireproof, yeah? So what he decided to do was burn his mattress, and then, for sympathy, and then get out of there, and then, so whatever. But he still have to go, because once he burns his cellar, he's going to go down the block and they're going to ship him out, yeah? But he ain't thinking about that. He's just sympathy, and he wants to show people this is what I'm going to do. But he don't realise that what he's doing, that Albany is an electric prison. They've got keys to the door, but the keys to the door are down the gatehouse, right? So the gatehouse, they run all the electric and everything from the gatehouse. Everything's run from that gatehouse, yeah? So everyone phones through, click, all the locks go, and keys, you've got to phone them up and they come up from the gatehouse to get with the keys, yeah? And the gatehouse is not just round the corner. It's like a walk, and they're going to take their time anyway. They're not really bothered. So what this guy does, or what this woman does, or whatever he does, or what she does, or whatever, it's a guy, but it's someone who's very transvestite, very got breast everything. Because in it, when I was in prison, I used to take this estrogen, I can't pronounce it, but they would just take pills that should make the breast grow, yeah? Anyway, so what she decided to do was burn his mattress for sympathy. Burns the mattress, but what he don't realise is it's not, once you burn a mattress, you got all them the black part of the rubbers going around the cell. And not only is he going around the cell, but it's also going around the wing, around that spur, because it gets under the door and everything. It's all dark, there's all smoke and shit everywhere, right? All of a sudden, people that have got to get out of their cells, or have got out of their cells because at certain times of the night, the light goes click, and you can get out one on each spur, can get out and do what they got to do, yeah? But the people that are already out, when they go back to the cell can't be locked. Or the people that should be coming out can't coming out, because this geezer now has burnt all the electrics. So they can't even get into his cell. They can't even phone up and say, look, open the cell, because he's burnt the cell. They can't do that. They need to get the key. So they got to get on the thing on their phones and say, look, get up as quick as possible, because there's someone burnt his cell out, and it's a light. When I say a light, if you light a mattress and it's rubber, they're all rubber mattresses, mate, with a cloth thing around it, yeah. So when it goes up, once you start it, it ain't going to stop. So this guy in the cell is choking to death, and the cell is alight. The cell is ablaze. It's absolutely ablaze. Everybody's screaming. People opposite the cells can see it. People next door, the walls are boiling hot. Everyone's banging the walls, trying to get through the walls. It's gone crazy. People have got out of their cell, can't go back in their cell. They don't want to go back in their cell. And people that should be coming out can't get out, because all the electrics is fucked. Everything's gone crazy. There's no electrics in that wing. There's no electrics. So no one can get out, or no one can get put back in their cell when they've been out, yeah? So there's murders in there. There's screws rustling around like anything. And because it's like, they've got certain amounts of screws that look after the prison at night time. Each wing might have, one screw in it, maybe two, usually one screw, yeah? So each way you've got five, six, maybe got six wings. They've got 6 screws. Maybe they've got 12, yeah? Perhaps a gate or whatever. It's not a lot, yeah? So they've got to try and control this wing now, our wing, C wing, where it's all bit of light. The whole lot's of light. Not the wing, but the cell, and the smoke and the shit's coming through. Everybody's choking up there because no one can open the doors, trying to put their heads out the window. I'm on the ones, so the smoke is coming. Even the smoke is even coming down now. Yeah, so everybody's going mad, and the people who are in who can't be locked up are running around the wing, going into the recess and staying in there because they can. It's like you feel safe in there. Yeah. So they're trying to get this guy out of the cell, and they can't get the electrics to open the door. So what they do, they come up with the key. They put the key in the lock, but it's so hot they can't fucking turn it because the key's as soon as it goes in, it's red hot because the door is fucking. The door is more or less a light, you know. It's not a light; it's the heat of the door. When they put the lock in, the key in, it ain't unlocking. So now they're going throwing water on it so they can get, there's murders. But the time they open the door for this guy, he runs down the landing and his feet, all the skin on his feet, stick to the tiles on the floor. And the worst thing they could have done, and I think it should have been opened up. The case they should have opened this up. Yeah, it should have been an open case because I think they killed him. Yeah, he ran out. I know it was burnt. It was burning. He was alight. Yeah, but they chucked cold water over him. Which made it even worse. He just like collapsed on the thing and died straight away. You know, perhaps if they hadn't chucked cold water over him, perhaps they'd put cloths over him or whatever, he might have survived, but been burnt for the rest of his life, you know. So he died, yeah, and in the that night and that day, no one can get out of the cell because they was doing all the electrics, yeah. And so they started undoing people the keys, yeah, certain people the keys. Anyway, so the next one I see, nearly guy got killed, was when my mate put these two people in the bath. It was their birthday, and he thought it'd be funny, my mate, to tie them both up. One up, one down. So your face is down and your face is up, yeah? And he put them in the bath and filled the fucking bath out with water. So the one at the bottom is trying to get up because he's fucking drowning, isn't he? And the one at the top don't want to go down, does he? So he's keeping the one at the bottom down. And it's only because that someone come along, I forget who it was now, someone come along, David Potter, I think, came along, and said, no, you can't do it, you're going to kill him, right? And when he took the guy from the guy at the bottom was nearly dead. He'd swallowed so much water, he nearly died, you know. And that they come up and get him, and it's like, fucking hell, man. And to see that, you think, wow, man, it's fucking mad, isn't it? You know what I mean? It was like that, it was absolutely crazy. And then I see Jackie, this one called Jackie, yeah, looked like the Penguin out of Batman. Honestly, the exact same long hair, bald head on top, everything. And it was with this guy. They've been together about 9 years, 8-9 years, both doing life sentences. And Jackie, what was his name, was being made up to DCAT, same thing, and didn't want to go. Because he's been in love with this guy for so long, 9 years or whatever, he don't want to leave him. So what he done, it wedged his door up with wedges, and most of the guys in Albany, because it was such a violent place, you could get stabbed and killed in seconds in Albany. What people used to do was dig holes in the floor by the door and put nails in there so you couldn't get through the door, or they make wooden wedges, but the best thing was the nail, yeah? But they make wooden wedges from the wood shop, yeah? So what has Jackie done? Put the nails in the floor, right? The nails in the floor, and then put about 3 or 4 wooden wedges in. And so when it started screaming like a proper woman, like that. Well, not like that, but you know what I mean. And all of a sudden, it wants to get out of the cell because it's gone too far. This thing's gone too far now. It's gone too far. Like, it's going to die, and it knows it's going to die. And her boyfriend is looking through the flap and going, look, in Albany, by the way, in Albany, they never had flaps, she had a little hole anyway. So, banging the door, crashing the door, going mad, yeah, bang, 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 bang. I did that flap, anyway, forget about it, don't worry about that. So, crashing the door, screaming, and what he had done, or she had done, she had cut herself with a tin, with a pineapple tin, yeah? The lid of a pineapple tin. When she's opening it up with the thing, the lid is like razor sharp, and it's all up and down, yeah? And it's like, and she's cut herself with that across the wrist, up the arm, back of her legs, cut chest, everything to pieces, and so blood was everywhere. Blood was all squirting out of his body, and it was, get the wedge out, we can't open the door. And she was so far gone, he was so far gone that he couldn't take the wedges out of the door, he was so weak. So me and a guy called Johnny Barry, the Barry brothers, Park and Johnny Barry, they took over from the Clays. They was two guys that had a big family, and they were quite dangerous people, Park and Johnny Barry. And I knew them, they're mates, pals of mine, yeah? So I've gone to John. John looked in there and he couldn't believe it. This thing's dying. This thing's like blood's everywhere. The screws are trying to smash in the door. All the screws are doing are making it worse because they're pushing the wedge even more tighter to the door. And this Jackie can't pull them out. There's blood everywhere, right? So because of the upstairs, this all happens in a matter of weeks, because of the upstairs and the cell upstairs was alight, it was all in pieces. They had the doors all acroed up, yeah? The frames all acroed up, and the frames inside acros. So we went upstairs and got an acro, And we come downstairs and put from one cell, from one wall to the cell, and we acroed the door off, yeah? So when we acroed the door off, the screws, sort of like, we get out of the way, we shut up, we went in there and pulled this Jackie out, yeah? They already knew, the hospital screws were already there waiting. We heard that she died, just died because of blood. Had no blood in the body. It was just cut to pieces so bad. Didn't cut it across the wrist, cut the arm up, and cut the veins wide open. And being for help, and rather than for help, it's killed itself. Cut him up, cut his legs, cut everything, and died. Died. But I took it away in a stretcher and put the sheet over her head. So then we knew that she was dead, mate. He was dead. And you think, fucking hell, it's that easy in there to die. And I was in the recess one day, and this guy come in fast, man. Like he come in like a nut, and he rushed into the shower, and he stabbed this guy about 8 times with a pen. Like a big pen, stabbed him about 8 times, and rushed out. I don't even know who the geezer was. I was in there, I get out in the wash, and this thing rushed into the shower and stabbed this geezer about 8 times with a pen, right? And the geezer in the shower ran out of the shower and chased this geezer down the landings to his cell and was going mad. And it had all like punches everywhere, and it just collapsed on the floor, just boom, collapsed. But I don't think he died, but it was like a bad one, yeah? And me being like, I never really see a lot of this oil You know, there's oil and all that, you know. People say people boil oil up and chuck it over their head. I've seen hot water chucked in a jug, chucked over someone's head and all that, you know what I mean? And it's like, take off their head off, you know what I mean? What they're doing in prisons is unbelievable. As I say, it's getting out in one piece, you know. And this guy called Billy McGee, Mary, I mean, it's a story, mate. Mary was like a Scots guy, but not really broad, yeah. But Billy McGee, and you know, not really broad Scottish, but absolutely pretty little thing, pretty, yeah, long sort of like mousy hair, but pretty, and then breasts as well, and very pretty, but very dangerous. What she done was cut a security guard's hand off with a machete to take the bag. Something was strapped to his wrist and chopped his hand off. So it was a nutcase. Anyway, one day I walked in Albany, in the actual wings, they got a part of it was grass verge, you know, and you can go in it and just, you know, certain times they don't let you out in the yard, so they let you out in the grass verge. It was inside, yeah. Everyone's got it in the centre of their wing, yeah. So it's out there and it's got his boob tube on and it's got breasts. Pretty little thing. I walked up and flipped its boob tube up. I'm gonna fucking kill you, all that shit, yeah. Anyway, I don't notice it. I was a bit of a bully in there myself, you know. I was always having fights. I didn't care a fuck, you know what I mean? I was always fighting. That was what I did. I wanted to, you know, I wasn't anybody going to take liberties with me. But anyway, Billy McGee, you know, there was a guy come in Albany by the name of George Cockle. They called him Catapult Charlie, you know. But what he used to do, he earned a fortune out of it, mate. It was only because I think they caught his wife, and his wife gassed him up. Yeah, what it was that he used to get his wife to stand by a jeweller shop, yeah, and he used to go over to the jeweller and say, look, we can take the watches or whatever, a big load of rings or whatever, and he'd stand across the road with one of these big high-powered catapults, really big high-power things with great big ball bearing in it. You know, you go across the road, fucking straight through the window of a jeweller shop. You know, and it didn't smash it. Smash it, but it made a big hole in it. Yeah, then he'd do it again. You know, and his wife would be the one who put her hand in, being a little hand. She'd go in there and take the watches out and the rings. And then he'd sort of like run across the road and make sure she was okay, yeah? And then they go off, he had a Rolls Royce and all that, but he got captured. But I think she got captured and she must have gassed him up because, anyway, he got something like a 12 stretch and she got something like 3 years. But good thing what he was doing is only fortunes. You know, he'd never got, anyway, he was only fortunes, Catapult Charlie. What's George Cockle, yeah? And he come into prison, but he was a really good-looking guy, really good-looking, good body, really good-looking. And his Billy McGee, Mary, made a beeline for him, yeah? So straight away, them two are hitched up. He's with her all the time, she's with him, he's with him, or she getting mixed up, whatever. So Billy McGee's with this George Cockle all the time, Mary, yeah? They're together all the time. But what George Cockle was met a guy in the nick he come from, that he was mates with, made good mates, and his mate come to Albany, but come to the same wing, C wing, and he come in and see George, and they become white pals. So that Billy McGee got the ump, innit? But now, the guy who's with George, his mate, wants a gangbang with Billy McGee. But when Billy McGee don't want to do that, she don't want to be involved with two, but she wants one. So there's me, Laurie Mann, Laurie Gibbons, Toby Ludlow. There's a few of us, but I think I'm not quite sure who else is it. Maybe Parky Barry, Johnny Bell. There was all in my cell, yeah, having a drink. All of a sudden, little thing on. Hello? Ray, it's Billy McGee. You know, Mary, yeah, whatever. So, can I talk to you, please? And so I walked out the cell. What's up? Old George Cockle wants me to have a game bang with him, yeah? But I don't want to, with this new geezer, right? So I looked over, and in Albany, this glass cage with white, glass cages around the staircase. So I've looked and I can see him, and I'm going to George, going to give you some of that, yeah? And I said, look, if he fucking hurts you in any shape or form, you tell him or I want to smash him, yeah? So anyway, she went off and I went back in the cell. So there was a big uproar. There was a little bit of a fight with Billy McGee and him, yeah? And the geezer. Billy McGee was very dangerous, tells you in a minute, but there was a fight and Billy McGee banged up and this George Cockle got a bit leery, and so I wouldn't see it, but I see it through the door, yeah? And I said, listen, you're going to get it, mate, the way you're going. Take your liberties, yeah? You've only been here 5 minutes. And now you want to take liberties, you know what I mean? So in the morning, I go to the kitchen about 5 o'clock. I'm doing the porridge, bosh. All of a sudden, I say to the governor, look, can I go to the wing, Gov? Yeah. So I had a big bit of steak. So I walked out the wing, put it down my tray. Anyway, I'm at the wing. I'm cooking this bit of steak on the stove. And all of a sudden, a couple of my pals come over to me, gives a bit of that, all that crap. I go, yeah, I'll eat later, anyway. As I'm cooking it, the alarm went off, and I thought it's an alarm for me licking the steaks, but it's ridiculous even thinking that way, because I've been doing it for ages. So all of a sudden the alarm's got screws running around like lunatics. So I thought, what the fuck's going on here? And within 10 minutes, Billy McGee, Mary, has come through the wing, all the fucking hair all over the gaff and blood everywhere all over his top. And, looked at me, he went, I warned him. I went, shh, Bill, shush. And about 10 minutes later, there was a stretcher come through the wing, and it was Billy McGee. You know what I mean? I went, oh, what's going on here now? What's up now? Billy McGee has stabbed George Cockle 16 times with a 1/4-inch chisel. But it was like a self-defense thing, because George has come over to him or her to bash you up with a bit of wood. So she's defending herself. She's got 2 chisels in her hand, and she's got one chisel that she uses on the lathe anyway, but she's got another chisel, picks it up, and she's defending herself, and she stabbed him 16 times. But when the alarm bell went off, all the screws were running around, they go there, and she comes out, as I see it, and I see George Cockle come out in a stretcher, but I can only see little bits of blood all on the sheet, right? Because it's internal bleeding, but it's quite a bit of blood, yeah? And then I heard that George Cockle got shipped to Parkhurst Hospital, and died, died of the wound, yeah? Of the wound. So she's now been done for murder, yeah? Well, not done for murder, got shipped out to Winchester. So a couple of days later, I knock on my cell door, it's a couple of screws on. I said, look, do you know anything about it? I said, yeah, I told her my story with a statement for her to get her off, because there's no point in getting George Cockle. George Cockle's dead, so I've got to stick up for the one that's alive. So then they took me to Winchester Crown Court. And I couldn't believe it, for me to go to Winchester Crown Court. But I went there as a witness for Billy McGee. When I just said to the prosecution was bent as an eyeball. The judge was also bent. Hello, all that crap, you know what I mean? And the judge says to me, what do you mean by giving a right hook? Because that's what I said. Well, I said, I hit the geezer with a right hook, judge. Okay. And what happened? And I said, well, I told him a lie, but I told him the truth. that this George Cocker was bullying it and all that crap, yeah. So in the end, the prosecution was there, and also they was on his side, and he got a guilty for diminished responsibility. Killed the guy and got 2 years diminished responsibility. And I went, oh wow. And I'm in a cell waiting to go back to Albany, and there's this Billy McGee, right? He comes to this fucking cell, this big cell, and go, Ray, come here. I'm running around, leave me alone, chill out. Anyway, so I'll get shipped back to Albany, yeah? But when I get shipped back, there's more things that are going on. People are getting stabbed left, right and centre. There's so much stabbing going on in Albany, mate, and people getting bashed up. I was in the kitchen, yeah, and my mate, Big John McDonough, massive guy, 6'8", 20 stone, beard, Irish, big guy on the Coppers crash. John McDonough come up to me and said, Ray, I'm going on the fucking roof. I said, shut up, John. I ain't fucking had enough. What it was, that his parents couldn't get over to see him. And he hadn't had a visit for years. But he wants to get over to Ireland. So now he's going to do a protest. What he's going to do is to get on the roof. In them days, there was no fences. It was Lord Mountbatten that put fences on prison. He was right done it later. This is the 70s. I think he put things around prison in the 80s, right? So there was no fences or nothing. So all of a sudden they're walking around the yard and crash, Big John's gone. They've got everything ready. They've got ropes, big overcoats on. It's summertime. They're wearing overcoats. I mean, and they've all got things on and ropes here and ropes there and water. They got up the drain pipes, and John McDonough's 19 stone. He can get up there, so can they all. And they're all getting up there. And the last one up there is a guy called Johnny Patton. Johnny Patton's a well-known gangster, a very dangerous man, Johnny Patton. They all got on the roof, so then it come around the wing. We all banged this up, right? They all come around the tannoy that no one is allowed to pass stuff up to the window for these people. Oh, fuck off, you know what I mean? Of course we are, you know what I mean? So everybody's like, they're putting ropes down, because when they went up there prepared. So they're putting ropes down, and people are putting all sorts of things on the ropes for them. Sandwiches and milk and tea bags and everything what they wanted, you know. What they do hot thing of water, put it in a flask, because everyone had a flask, and put it up, so they have tea and everything, and made it easy, had it nice, yeah. And and all of a sudden one day they decided to cut it off. But what I was trying to get it from my book, yeah, that I remember in Albany when it happened. Big John McDonough was on the gym roof, yeah, big guy, and all the others were on the roof. And John McDonough, they'd done a lot of cartoon. John McDonough pulling the helicopter out of the sky, like Guy had a gorilla. But like they done it good. John McDonough, a bit of a gorilla's head, pulling the what you call it out of the sky, the helicopter. So it was good, you know what I mean? But I can't find it. I don't know whether it is. What happened to it, yeah? So we'll be honest with you, they can't got it. They ain't got it, yeah? But that would have been good for my book, to put in my book, yeah? But we still put it in my book, yeah? So anyway, what they've done, all the screws, before that, I was in the kitchen, I was in the baker's. So what I'd done, I got a potato sack, and I filled it up with all sorts of things, sausages, that had come over from the wings, sausages, bacon, eggs, boiled eggs, everything in there, butter, milk, everything. Go, no, can I put the bag up, mate? So he opened the back door, I was putting all the bags out. But that bag, I threw up onto the little roof, yeah, the little bit, so they can come down the big one, come along, go on, jump on this other one, and take the bang. It's what happened, yeah. So they're up there. It was 1976. It was the hottest summer ever. It was like 100 and something up there, mate. And it was so hot, they had nothing to take away the heat, yeah? There was no shade, but everybody's sending blanket sheets up there and all that, right? But then the screws realised that it's about time that we get them down. So what they done, they built a barrier of scaffolding like that, crisscross, yeah? Across the thing so they couldn't get onto the gym. Well, sorry, so they couldn't get off the gym onto the wings. So now they've got no food. So they lasted up there about another 4 or 5 days. And then they started coming down. It was 76, don't forget, the heat was terrible. Everybody always going crazy. They all want to help them, don't they? You know. So when people are going on visits, they're fucking firing things up, you know. And people are going to exit, so they stopped all that, yeah. So you couldn't go out that door, you got to go around a long way and all that crap, yeah. So there on the wing, someone up there got Larry. He got chucked off the roof of that, yeah, and nearly died. And then they put the barrier up, and then because it was 76, it was so hot. They obviously, so they wanted to come back and come down because they couldn't get no water, nothing. So they brought most of them down, and the last two to come down was John McDonough and Johnny Patton. Then John come down. Johnny Patton stayed up there for another couple of 3 days, and he burnt all his kidneys and liver. He burnt everything, like John. He come down looking like black, dark, real tanned up. And they took Johnny Patton to Parkhurst. They gave him more bird. They gave him about another 2 or 3 years on top of their sentence. Yeah, Bobby John was a nut. Johnny Patton, big name Johnny Patton, mate, dangerous man. You know, and then he went to Parkhurst, and he got involved with a big card school in Parkhurst, yeah, with this guy, and this guy tried to fuck Johnny Patton out of the money that they got for the card school. So Johnny Patton wanted his share of the money that he'd earned. He's been getting his share, and all of a sudden it stopped. So Johnny Patton wants to know what's going on. Why ain't I getting my money? And the guy said, listen, well, I'll give you when I want to give you and all that. Well, Johnny's a bit nutty, yeah? So this guy all of a sudden has come out to Johnny Patton with a great big knife to do Johnny Patton. So Johnny Patton's gone. But now Johnny Patton, being who he is, a fucking lunatic, he's got hold of a guy in the kitchen and said to him, get me a knife. The guy in the kitchen nicks a knife from the butcher's. And by the time they found out in the kitchen, they got every time someone, when they go, they've got to count the knives and all that going, but something happened, they didn't. And the guy walked out with a big boning knife, you know, and give it to Johnny Patton. Johnny Patton rushed into the cell, about 5 people in there, stabbed 4 or 5 people, got the guy, axed the guy that owed him the money, stabbed him, fuck knows how many times, killed him, stone dead. Johnny Patton was then took to Wakefield, I think it was Wakefield. He was put in with, in one of them cells, a cell within a cell within a cell. He was in a cage, big cage, John. I don't know whatever happened to Johnny Patton. Someone said he got a lot of bird for the murder, got done for murder. And I like John, I really like Johnny Patton. But, you know, that's things happen, yeah. Anyway, so they all come down. They all got big bird. There was a lot of people being transferred out there because of what they did to help them out and things what was going on. And then I was having some trouble with a guy called Dennis Mulligan. Dennis Mulligan died. I didn't even know that, yeah. Bermondsey, nice fella. Dennis Mulligan knew everybody from Bermondsey. all that lot of gold bullion and all that. He's proper man, Dennis. But because of them times, Johnny Patton didn't, Dennis Mangan didn't like me because I was around Peter Kelly, my mate Peter Kelly, others. I was around with a lot of people, and Tommy Green. I was around with a lot of people, yeah. So I mugged Dennis Mulligan off because he was like wanting to be a chap. Me, Laurie Mann, other people, you know. Anyway, and then finally Pope, all of us, yeah. He was mates. Mind you, he was mates with Dennis Mulligan, Finally Pope, but Finally Pope was mates with Laurie Mann, so he come in well, anyway. So, but this was later on. This was a later thing, yeah, not now. A later thing. It wasn't the 70s. It was like 80s. So I've come back to Albany, but there's a lot of other things happened, yeah. Loads of other things happened. But what I'm going to do, I'll do another day, another story about people being killed in Albany because there's more coming back to me about other people and this, that and the other, yeah. So I'll do another story about it, yeah. But anyways, Bang Bang Radio, please help me, press the like and subscribe. Nice one.